Greetings, beautiful people. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Let's start with the law of attraction, okay? Now, the reason why I want to start with the law of attraction is because the law of attraction, we already know, we hear it over and over and over again. Energy flows where attention goes. We hear, the universe reacts to you, all right? Whatever decisions and things you decide to do, it reacts to you. Your mental state, your energy, your mind state, okay? Now, if you're at a state where you're still saying or constantly focusing on the fact and saying they, this, they're doing that to me, they're doing that to us, they're suppressing this, they're doing that, you're putting yourself in a victim mentality the same exact way as to whenever you're in lack, all right? Instead of you taking accountability and responsibility, okay? You put yourself in a victim mentality, and all you're doing is projecting from lack, from a space of lack, from a space of need, from a place of disempowerment. Because when you're a victim, you're disempowered. Okay? When you take accountability, notice the word account. You know what accountants do? They manage money, they manage finances. Okay? They manage energy in a physical way. So when you're accountable for the stuff that's happening here, okay, and when I say accountable, it's because it is you doing everything to you. So if you're still in a state where you're saying, watch David Icke, watch Alex Jones, watch this, watch that, I'm going to tell you what happens, okay? My girl and I, we were having a conversation earlier, but we were playing around, and we were like, oh, that's my son, because we were both looking at him, and we were playing, and she goes, she was saying something, and she said, my son, right? And then I go, yeah, my son, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, what do you mean, my son? That's our son. You know what I mean? Now, here's the funny part. When she said, that's our son, right? I kind of thought about it for a second, and I said, no, it is not our son. It is my son, and he is your son, okay? See, we're both looking at him, okay? But it does not mean that it is our son. He is my son because I am the one looking at him, and I perceive him in my way, and I perceive him in my vision and in my point of view. Now, she sees him, she sees what I'm seeing, right? But it is not what I'm really seeing, okay? She is projecting the image of her son in her point of view, and I'm projecting mine, right? Now, this is how this entire reality works, and whenever you see something outside of you pushing or creating a propaganda behind something, is because they require your energy. You see, in order for something to be empowered, it needs to have the attention of the people. See, look at the word popular. All right, look at the word solar. Popular. Okay? See, when people are popular, they're well known. Okay? See, it is beneficial for a lot of people to know you, but it is not always beneficial for you to know a lot of people, okay? But it is beneficial for people to know you. You're gaining more energy that way. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I've noticed this through synchronicities and stuff like that, but I've also noticed one thing, okay? Now, we talk about people who want to give a message, okay? But here's the funny part. Let's say if you're giving a message where you're talking about they are suppressing us, they are suppressing this, they are doing this, they are doing that, all you're doing is promoting the very thing that whoever you're talking about is what they want you to do to promote them, because you're empowering that very thought or illusion that they have any kind of power over you. Okay? So here's the thing. You notice how rich people can stay rich because they don't know how to be in a poverty mind state, right? Do you notice how poor people, it's hard for them to become rich because it's hard for them to fathom or even imagine a place of abundance like that rich person, okay? Now, it requires work, okay? It requires work, but it also requires experience for you to even know what to visualize. You get what I'm saying? So how how can a poor person really visualize and connect emotions behind a visualization to manifest their reality when they can't even fathom that reality because they don't even know what to really imagine, or they don't even know what it feels like? Certain cars may smell really new. The feeling of the leather may feel different than these antique cars, right? So they don't even know what they're really feeling, right? They would have to probably go to a few dealerships, sit inside it and really digest and eat the car. Like, you literally have to eat the car, digest it, literally knowing what the smell is, right? You program into your psyche, the feel of the car, the way it feels on your butt, the way it feels on your back, the way the car looks, the colors, the way they pop, the technology, everything about it, right? And now they can go and really visualize it, right? But how can they visualize that mindset of like true abundance if they're coming from a place of lack, right? Now, you can watch videos, you can watch all the videos you want, but this is where the whole fuckery and trickery goes too. See, they train you to think that that is true abundance, right? So the same way they direct your attention toward that illusion, the luxury, because that's false light. They want you to think that that's the real abundance, but there's way more. There's way more to that, because that, you realize that that is nothing but illusion. Now, here's what happens though. Let's say you have a spiritual awakening, okay? You have a spiritual awakening and you realize the fuckery, and now you become depressed because things aren't always what they seem, right? People think that the depression comes in because of the life that they're living, right? That they're under stress because of the bills. They're under stress because of that. Do you notice that sometimes when you're depressed, this is part of the awakening? This is part of the healing. I made a video on the healing, right? Healing is not always easy. This is why I made the comparison. When you go to the gym, you break your muscles down, they hurt, but then they become stronger when they heal. When you're fasting, this is where discipline comes in, because you need to like hold on strong so that this way you let the body heal. Because if you cave in, that's you literally becoming the slave instead of being the master over your body. And the body is not your master. You are the master. You are operating this vessel. Okay? You see how, even for example, I was having a conversation with somebody and things start to click, because I say, man, I used to drive very fast, but now I drive slower because I drive a truck. So I'm basically now under control. So, but when you hear somebody say under control, it means you're under control by like somebody or the government. But it's not even that. It may be just that you created a limitation for yourself, all right, for you to not be able to drive faster anymore. You create these same limitations in life. All you need to do, if I wanted to drive fast, it wouldn't cost me a lot to just get a fast car. Just trade this in or sell this one and just get a fast car, because now I can go fast again. But I created a limitation for myself by getting a truck, something that I used to do that I like to do. I used to drive fast, but I realized that I created that limitation for myself. You create limitations for yourself all the time, and you do it unconsciously. Even thinking that the government is going to do something to you, or they're censoring certain things, they're keeping you from thinking. Literally, this is you doing this to yourself, because I've already mentioned this before. You are the government. You are everything and nothing. You are everything, right? You can go to a place of nothing, right? But you coming from a place of nothing, you better know what to bounce back into, okay? See, this is the whole thing where you leave yourself open when you go into nothing and you come from a place of nothing. If you really don't know what energies are literally influencing you when you come out, or if you're coming back from a place of love, you coming back into the world to literally share a positive message to empower people. Literally, the whole entire thing comes down to you. It is always you. You do this to yourself. Everything is done to yourself. You do it yourself. It's you versus you. It doesn't go any other way. See, you're here perceiving an experience. The other person is perceiving another experience. So the person who's abundant is perceiving a completely different reality that I am, right? We are all here as one. But at the end of the day, whatever I'm focusing my attention on, like, let's say, for example, if I make videos and I start to talk about the government is doing this and the government is doing that. And I'm promoting that illusion of limitation to you. Because they cannot do anything to you unless you believe it to be so, or unless you consent it. And you consent it sometimes through your silence or your ignorance. And there's people who really go into deep meditations and like sometimes I go and think about this, man. You go in nature, you do a bunch of things, but are you tuned in? Are you really tuned in? Right? The earth is Mother Gaia. Right? And you can use metaphysically, you can use feminine energy and you could use masculine energy, depending on your whatever you want to do. Okay? But at the end of the day, that's metaphysical. But how do you use feminine energy here in this realm of reality? Right? You can use a feminine woman, like a feminine energy. That's because we are all energy, right? So you use feminine energy. You use money. Money is by far one of the biggest things that, because it's popular, people believe in it so much, right? So you play the game, but you play it aware, and then you start to see the beauty in it because you start to create your experience. It's not about looking at things and demonizing things, because there's really nothing to demonize. It's just looking at it from a different perception, looking at the beauty of everything by just changing your mind, right? You mind your business. And then when you mind your business, this is where you change your mind. You shouldn't let people, places, things influence you. You influence yourself, and you do this by going within, and then you come out and you project a different reality, a reality that you want to project. You may not be a millionaire, but you might be happier than a millionaire though. So because you know that is not the real abundance, but if it's something that you definitely want to create something here in this realm of reality, then you could do that. But the thing is, you'll know that just like you don't waste your energy here, you circulate and invest energy in yourself, and then you vest it outside of yourself to know what serves you and what not. Then you do the same thing with money. Money, you vest money so that you can have residual income. You can have, like I told you, money is feminine energy. It fertilizes soil. Look at how, for example, we have conspiracy theorists that talk about, chemtrails and stuff like that. What is in chemtrails? And chemtrails is full of metal. It's full of, it's strontium, barium, and aluminum in the air, right? Now, if this is Mother Earth, right? And what is the highest conductor of electricity? Gold, right? Do you know how we can fix this whole entire problem? If they were chemtrailing with gold instead of the heavy metals, you'll see how much more abundant this world could be. Okay? But they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for their reason. But you're putting that focus and energy into it. You put the focus and energy into conspiracy theories, and you create that very thought and that very reality. If you're always focusing on that, if you're promoting it now, unconsciously, you are now creating havoc because you're promoting something that, listen, and it's not to say that there's anything wrong. It's just something that you have to understand. It is always self. If you're looking at something outside of self, you're disempowering yourself. Okay? It's always going to come down to self. I've noticed that I've taken responsibilities accountable for my actions. You see, we're always trying to negotiate, right? But you can't even win negotiations with your own body. This is why people cave in and start to feed into their addictions, because they can't come from a place of love and train their body the same way they would train a dog. Can you raise your children? You raise your children to eat the same garbage you do, and you're just creating the same havoc. It's the same way, because you're unconscious of it. You're unconscious of it, so it's not even your fault. I have to look at it from a place of love and say, this is where the guidance needs to go, okay? And I'm not telling you everything I say is fact, or I'm teaching anybody. I don't care, because, listen, if you want to come from that place of ego, that's up to you, okay? Now, look at children. I spoke about the acting thing. I definitely recommend, if you are watching that video where I talked about, authenticity and what is love, I want you to look at a comment that Fire Drake put on there, and it is something that completely resonated with me. And it's a different perception, but there's always different perceptions to everything. Because I look at it like this. You see, I'm making this video, right? And I'm the act of speaking this, and you know what I mean? Everything's the act of. But when children come into this realm of reality, let's say a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, are they acting? Right? But they're not acting, or are they acting? Look at what they do. They do things where we have to like watch them because, you know, they might do inappropriate things. They might, you know, like my son, when he was little, he started putting his hand down his diaper and started playing with the shit and showing it to everybody. Okay? Is that appropriate? You get what I'm saying? So we do things to fit in. All right? To fit in. This is why the fitness industry is so big, because it is overly sexualized. You have to look a certain way for you to fit in or be acceptable. Right? It's a programming. The same way that you may think that because you see that these whistleblowers or these, you know, and look at the word whistleblower. You blow your whistle when you call a dog. You know what I mean? So you're calling the herd. You call the herd. Hey, come. Whoop, whoop. Right? Whistleblower. You people look at it as whistleblowing toward one end, and it's really just whistleblowing, calling the herd over to fucking promote the garbage. Ain't nothing happening to you. You're doing it to yourself. If you want happiness, okay, it really just goes, just change your mind. Don't focus on nothing outside of you. There's really nothing outside. If it's not your business, right, and it has nothing to do with you, and you're not getting anything in return for it, then leave it alone. It doesn't matter. See, I won't perceive a reality of like poison with chemtrails. You know, if I eat certain foods, I'm gonna feel this and that. No, I mean, everything here is an experience. You could do whatever you want. It's just being aware and conscious of everything that you're doing, is being vigilant. That's all it is, right? That's all it is. If you're getting spiritually attacked, the worst thing that could happen is if whatever's spiritually attacking you, you become aware of it, right? You know why? Because then you can be like, no, but you're going to be fearful because you don't understand it. So because you're fearful, now you disempowered yourself and gave your power away. Instead, you know that it is you, all right? And you could just be like, I don't consent to this. And that's it. It's over. It's over. Same thing like sleep paralysis. You notice when you're in bed and you have sleep paralysis and you try to move, it becomes stronger when you resist. But if you just chill there and relax, it just goes away. Right? It just goes away because you were in a moment where you were like, all right, I know what's happening. Let me just chill out and let it go away. Okay? You see, we always look for a guru. We always look for the whistleblower. We depend on the government. Do you know who? There's a saying that says that the guru will find you when you're ready. There was a point in time where I'm like, man, where the fuck is this guru, man? I'm ready to do this shit. Right? But the real guru is you. And do you know how this guru that's you starts to find you? Through synchronicities. People, places, and things will start to tell you things. Let me tell you something. I cleansed my body for the past couple weeks. And this is why I've been laying low. But I can tell you this, okay? I've gone through some serious ups and downs. And even watching certain people's videos I've been like, wow, man, I can't believe it's like a reflection, man. It's a reflection. And what's even crazier is I could be at my job. I can be anywhere. And just certain words or certain things that people say, if I'm dealing with a certain customer and they're going through a situation where I'm guessing, yeah, I'm going to get this sale, and all of a sudden something happened. Man, something happened, but it is a reflection of what's happening to me. Something that prevented them from being able to do something. Certain things they say. Man, I had this, I think maybe this is a better move. I shouldn't do it. I've been impulsive before but there comes a moment in time I got to control myself. So maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't be doing this right now. I'll try to get rid of this and I'll do that later. Man, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, certain things people say, it doesn't have to be where it's only about spirituality or it's about awareness or consciousness. Everything is talking to you. Numbers are talking to you. Fucking signs are talking to you. Places trees are talking to you. Everything's talking to you. People are talking to you. Everybody's telling you something. Everybody. And I'm open-minded about everything. But there's certain things that I feel the need, that I feel like I want to guide. And certain, like for example, I read certain comments and they inspired me to see things in a certain way. This is why I always make the fucking disclaimer. Do your own research, and things are subject to change. None of this shit is easy. Okay? It is easy, but it ain't really easy. It takes time. We're here bound by time. So use your time wisely. If you're focusing on the whistleblowers and what the government's doing to you, you're losing time and you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, and you're just creating fucking garbage, and you're delaying your progress, okay? You know what I see is basically progress. Congress. You start to worry about the government, you worry about Congress. Gress means to step forward, to step. If you're progressing, you could degress, go backwards. Con artist, the Congress. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just know that this is just you outside of you. The world is you. You are a world. If I'm perceiving my son, my wife is perceiving my son, she's perceiving it from her world, I'm perceiving it from my world. What is the world? What really is the world? The world is you. You have a heart, right? You have a solar plexus. You have your animal nature in your feet. Your human here. This is why there's the earth and the heart here. And then you have your higher self right above, the crown chakra. But this is just a computer, right? If somebody cut your brain and you have somebody trying to dissect their brain, you can't find the mind, right? You can't find the mind, but you can see what the brain is. But can you see, if you open a radio, can you see the broadcaster in there? No, the radio is working on broadcast and frequency, but you can't see the person talking through the radio. You open the radio, all you're going to see is a bunch of machinery, right? So your body, if you have your heart and you have your solar plexus, all the rest of the organs are co-governed by planets. Your chakras, co-governed by planets. So what does that mean? You're a walking solar system, a walking fucking universe. So you are a fucking, like, the latest piece of technology. And they're using it against you. They can't do nothing to you. They can't fuck with you. Because, you see, you are an empowered, you're like a supercomputer running on like the most minimal percent. This is why they say you can only perceive a certain amount of information, right? Notice how we look at calculators, computers. All we have to do is punch a couple numbers and it gives you the equation quickly. We have to think about it and figure it out. Why? Because think about it. We are supercomputers that can process shit, all right? But we're so delayed. And then we look at technology, and now since we're in this state, we believe that computers and technology is above us. And this is why we empower the fact that computers may be more advanced and become even self-aware, because it's telling you that through movies, okay? And I'm going to make a video on the Terminator and the Matrix, okay? And Area 51 and UFO right now.